When growing up, your parents have the responsibility of teaching you all there is to know about the world. Any silly or important question you asked were answered in ways for only you to understand. Even sometimes your parents would make up something so you didn't know the real truth. There are some things in this world that no kid should have to know until they are much older. But the one thing that every kid should understand is the feeling of losing. Getting rid of participation trophies and promoting competitiveness will help kids be prepared for the future. One of the most overused reasons for why participation trophies are beneficial is that it helps boost kids' self esteem. In reality, participation trophies do the opposite. Dr. Gail Gross states that giving a trophy for just showing up can be just the positive reinforcement your child needs to foster better self esteem and security. I agree that for some kids, it might make them feel like they have succeeded at something and could do anything they set their mind to. But what about the kids who won? The kids who go to school and see their team went undefeated and got the same size medal or trophy as the team who lost. Will that boost their self esteem and security? I'm all for kids who are less capable and not as talented being part of the team, but at some point, you have to put what's right over what people want. Back when I was in high school, we had a manager who had a speech problem. We would include him in practice and allow him to keep the scorebook during games. When he finally asked to play in the game, the last game of the season, senior night, he was able to play. Moments like that is what I believe are important in a kid's life, but allowing him to play every game in the whole season would have jeopardized the other players' playing time and season. Everyone wants to have a trophy, but the right thing to do is give it to the teams who deserve it. At the end of the day, you are either rewarding the winners or you're rewarding the losers. Another strong argument that people make is the idea that not giving participation trophies single kids out. That is not the case. Not having participation trophies doesn't single out kids, they single out the team. When your team loses, they don't say Johnny lost, they say the Warrington Soccer Club lost. Dr. Gelgro states your child wants to be like the other kids. He wants to fit in and be part of the group, and in this case, the team. If your team loses, how are you not all the same? Just because Johnny was the best player on your team doesn't mean he gets a trophy. If your team loses, then you all are the same. Just because the outcome isn't what you want doesn't mean you are still part of a team. Teams win together and lose together. Parents and people are so afraid to teach their kids that, and it's doing nothing but preparing them for failure the next season. I have a 7-year-old brother, and he was on a team that wasn't very good. My brother was, in my eyes, the best player and never cared if his team lost or won. All he cared about was how many points he had. The fact that kids don't care about winning drives me insane. I can remember playing pickup basketball with my friends and just bragging and taunting the whole day. We would go into school the next day and just push each other's buttons to no end. It made us all better. It made us mentally tougher and ready for any criticism thrown our way. With participation trophies, we are eliminating that. One interesting point that Dr. Gail Gross made was the idea that kids won't show up to practice if coaches praise talent. First things first, this has nothing to do with participation trophies. This is the whole other topic of how to be a good coach. No coach should make it obvious or even have an idea of who his favorite player is on the team. If a coach is rewarding the good player at practice with candy or more playing time, then that is on the coach. The coach is making a wrong decision by singling out less talented kids. When I was in middle school, my middle school basketball coach had a reward called the Warrior Award, which was given to the players who worked the hardest in practice every single day. At the end of the season, I was really thinking I was going to get the award. When he announced the award, I realized I didn't get it. I was crushed. I was leading scorer on the team and second leading assist man. Why didn't I get it? It was because I didn't work as hard as someone else. I had more talent, maybe, but my coach saw that Ben, who didn't play, came in every day and played his absolute best. That's a great example of a great coach. He didn't reward his best player, but the player who he saw worked the hardest. Unfortunately, there are some coaches who do praise their stars, but it doesn't have anything to do with participation trophies. Last but not least, Dr. Gail Gross talks about how participation trophies help kids build character. What really builds character are the kids who don't get a participation trophy and come back the next season determined to get him or herself a trophy. If you give a kid a trophy just for practicing, it almost contradicts on what building character is. Character is built during adversity and bumpy roads. When I was 7 or 8 years old, I lost in a multiplication competition every single day. The person who got the most questions right got a prize at the end of class. Every day I would come in upset because I never won. I would keep practicing and practicing, but could never win a single competition. One day I went in and was determined to win. When the teacher said I won, I felt a rush of joy spread through my body. For me, at such a young age, being able to try after losing so much shows my true character. If my teacher would have gave us all candy for participating, would I have worked as hard as I did learning to learn multiplication? Being able to get up and fight again shows your true character. With every kid knowing they are going to get a participation trophy, they aren't going to show who they are deep down. Without purpose, there is no true character being created. Character is earned without asking, and with participation trophies, we're asking for our kids to grow up with no fight in them. With more and more organizations making participation trophies relevant, it's important to understand that once not too long ago, they didn't exist. Not too long ago, kids were able to understand what being part of a losing and winning team really was about. Not too long ago, kids could understand losing a game without feeling like they were no good. With participation trophies, we're telling kids that it's okay to settle for second. It's okay to quit because at the end of the day, you still get a medal. This is what we are teaching the next generation, and for me, I'm scared to see the outcome.